this because they have to Xerox from your original drawing for their presentation. Now you should be entitled to get your original back, though, if that is what you want. Which usually, if it's something you like enough to put in your portfolio, you should do.
A lot of times they don't like the Xeroxes because if you Xerox a Xerox, it leaves it bad.
Well, no, yeah, you don't want to hand in just a Xerox. What I do sometimes is I'll hand in as a supplement to the original, I'll hand in a set of Xeroxes so that when they first glance at the original and it's all dog-eared and weird and everything like that, which sometimes happens, they don't judge it on that as a first impression. They see the Xerox of it and they go, ah, that's a relief. So I sometimes send a pack of Xeroxes with my original sketches. But I would never just send Xeroxes. Doing this, maybe someone will go out there to the sink and get a cup of water for me so I can just put in a couple of accents with acrylic on this thing. Alright, I mean, you know, I can prove my point and render that thing almost to the umpteenth degree and give it a photographic look if I want, but that's not the purpose here. So let's move on to another head. Let's move on to this guy.
What about their expectations? I mean, how far do you take it for their purposes?
They would consider that one of the more finished heads they're going to get this month.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I might not look at it that way as artists, but from their point of view, they would be pretty happy with that at the level of a rendering. Again, rendering is less important to them than the effect. So we're trained, you know, to get this look and everything like that, and sometimes, you know, it's a lot more than the client really needs.
Go back in after you like the stair, we put the black Prisma back on top of it. You go back in and do the Bestine over that. You know, to get it even darker.
It's pretty dark. That's going to, remember I'm drawing for the Xerox. That's going to Xerox as black gets. So I could do it, but it's really, unless I have some spare time, it's kind of a waste of time. You'll notice that this almost gets us back to the white vellum, but not quite. So this is a good example of that right in here. Anyone who's close to it can see that that's not quite going all the way back. Let's just give it a little sort of dappled texture or something here so that it reads flat, but it isn't quite. There's another quiet eraser, Mia.
No, I noticed that. I'm so envious.
What else is that? I've never seen that one.
It's Mars Scott. Just soften it a little bit now. Maybe we want it to glow just a little bit. Again, I don't have a reference with me on this Hemery High School is called, but I think we have some darks and stuff in here. So I would just go back and very graphically punch those in. remember that since we already have some black in the painting, it's easy to justify putting it into the background and anywhere else. And after all, it is a night scene, so. This everywhere. I just want to show you how you can draw back into it. If this were something of a finished nature, then we'd want to do more yet. Let's start transitioning into some other colors if you want to by the time we reach down here. That starts getting us, into details that you can hire a kid on the street to do. So now let's get back into these heads just a little bit. Pop out a couple of little lights here and there, just to give it a little more sparkle. Let's sharpen this eraser. Back to a point, and there we have it. All right, let's do, what's his name? What's this guy's name?
Luke Parrott. Ringo.
Luke Parrott. Luke Parrott, that's right.
Looks like one of the Beatles to me.
Say that again?
Looks like one of the Beatles.
Back to the Tuscan red now, the turning of the bridge of his nose, and for the turning of the underplane, and for the upper lip, yellow forehead. By the same token, bring some of the yellow into the middle passage of his head as well. A little bit of bronze yellow. I don't know what we want to do here. Just there's a million different things we can do. We can put some reflected light, but I don't think that would go with this. We're just going to get into the jaw now. And for that, I'll take some dark brown, pick up just a little sense of the beard. And by that, I just mean, even though he's clean shaven in this photo, on a man's head, there's always just a little bit of a sense of a graying in the area of the jaw. Although, again, it's not a completely different color from the rest of his head. It's just a change in color cast. And I can also see a fall off between the forehead and the lower head as I draw. And it's important to get that. So maybe at most a 1 value step between the light on his forehead and the light on his jaw. That's if we think in terms of value as a 1 to 10 scale, with with 0 being black and 10 being white. If the value of this head is a 9 or an 8 or a 7.5, then this would be a 7, and this might be a 6.5. So there's a very subtle fall off there. Whatever your darkest darks happen to be, make sure you put them in, because those are going to have a great influence on the values of your lights. This is a nice technique because, you know, you can also use it in life drawing. I know Gregory uses it all the time from the live model. Get some real beautiful effects. The figure up there above the bookcase, second from the end. It's an example of Prisma and Turpenoid from life. Maybe that's a good way for you to practice before you get a job with this. Now I'm taking the Tuscan red and running it over the Xerox ink next to the Carmine red. Where the form turns from light into shadow, I come in with the Tuscan red. And then here, these planes around the mouth and mustache, or what would be a mustache,